Hi there, it's somA. Welcome to Coffee and Empathy. Today I'm drinking an Ethiopian bean. I am sad to say I don't know from what region. Uh, they weren't able to tell me in the coffee shop, uh, but it has a very particularly smooth flavor, almost like it's dry processed, like it's that rich chocolatey kind of thing, like a hot chocolate sort of texture, which often means that it's been dry processed, which means that the berries were not soaked in order to get the berries off of the seed. Instead, they were dried in the sun, which allows some of the sugars from the fruit to absorb into the seed and ends up usually adding up to this very smooth, rich, earthy, chocolatey kind of flavor. And in coffees that don't have a lot of frontal acidity, like Central American coffees or Brazilian coffees, uh, that will be an interesting dichotomy to have this really rich base, but this with this sort of more earthy, almost not herbaceous, but aromatic, but yeah, earthy is the only way I can really describe it. The way a Brazil dry process might be, but Ethiopian dry process is usually a hefty dose of fruit flavors and with this base of chocolate underneath it. This one has a bit of sweetness about it, but it's almost like a blueberry blossom tea flavor, but that's very small in the top range of flavors. The big emphasis in this is the lower richness, the body, and it tastes a little bit oily. Um, that might be part of it, and that's probably it has something to do with the dry process. Not because it's roasted dark, it's roasted kind of medium, roasted about where I roast my beans. But this is one rare bean that was not roasted by me. I bought this at a coffee shop because I ran out of my own raw coffee to roast. And the package of my new raw beans was delayed in the mail, so I went ahead and bought a box from Cafe Variety in Brooklyn, and they're always reliable. One of the the few coffee shops in New York that has the honor of being a place where I will voluntarily order a shot of espresso and drink it in the shop. That's that's a high bar for me, um, and and not that I wouldn't drink it, but that I really enjoy it. Like they're for the reasons that I would do espresso at this place is to savor the subtleties of the actual pull. And you could use this bean for espresso, actually, speak of the devil. It would work really well because it's so uh, rich in a low kind of grounding sort of way. And you need a bit of both. You need a very delicate balance of base and aroma, acidity, uh, to make a good espresso blend. Uh, that's one reason why Guatemalan coffees work really well as a single origin espresso, because there's this a lot of like usually sort of green apple type of aroma, really strong on the top while still being very like toasted spices or toasted herbs, toasted nuts kind of vibe, an oilier vibe in the lower part. So drink up, hair of the dog that bit you and all that. Um, so I was thinking about something I said to a friend. We were trying to catch up, and they did not get back to me at the time they said they would, and they're halfway across the world, so I always assume that if I don't hear from them that there's something going on, it doesn't have to be a problem. And it turned out that the reason for that delay in getting back to me was shame and embarrassment of being in a bit of a They described it as like a self-sabotage low point. They hesitated to say the word rock bottom, but I was offering to them that you don't have to be afraid of your pain, and you don't have to be afraid of your difficulties and your chaos. And you certainly don't have to be afraid of alienating your friends and loved ones by simply not being in good shape. It's okay not to be okay. And if your friends are really your friends, they'll be fine with it. Now, if you're just trauma dumping and not really listening, or, there's other problems that can creep in, but just by virtue of you being in pain or having trouble does not create any problem for a true friend. If love is there and support and empathy, then we treasure that about each other. And if we don't practice reaching out beyond our shame, just gritting our teeth and dealing with that and reaching out anyway, if we practice that, we will get a great reward for our minor discomfort. We will get greater comfort because of connecting. But if we don't practice that, we will forget that that's how it works. And we will think, oh, all I need to do is shut myself in more, and then I can adequately prepare myself or protect myself from this pain. But you don't have to be afraid of it. It's not going to hurt you if you're not afraid of it. So when that self-doubt comes in, don't just push through it. Acknowledge it. That's the pro tip. Love your self-doubt. Love your self-sabotage. Be curious about it. You want to find out about your undiscovered strengths. You don't want to find out about your hidden, not shortcomings, but hidden tangles, because that's all they are. Every impulse you have is there to help you. When it hurts, it's because it's trying to help you without really having instructions on how to do that. So the solution is to give your emotions instructions on how to help you. And the first step to that is getting curious about your emotions and where they come from and what they're trying to tell you. Sometimes they're trying to protect you by distracting you. You sit down to do the thing you've been meaning to do for a really long time, and 8 things pop into your mind that need to be done now. That's your mind trying to help you because it knows you don't want to do it. So it gives you some reasons not to do it. But the problem with that is it's not fueled by curiosity. It's fueled by fear. It's fueled by avoidance. You're not choosing to do the other thing. You're choosing to avoid the hard thing. And it will keep bothering you. It will keep trying to get your attention until you give it some acknowledgement. So if you need it to step to the side, if you need your intense emotions or your difficulties or your self-doubt to step to the side, then you can say that to it. But you also have to say, I trust you and I want to hear your story when I have time. I promise I will hear you out. Right now, can I have some space so that I can get through this, and so that I can learn about what's going on without this attitude of my triggered part? Because usually if they're confused, there's a trigger. Like they're trying to protect from something. We have either like a tendency to dissociate, a tendency to rebel, a tendency to explain ourselves, a tendency to get angry, whatever it might be, is trying to keep us from going somewhere that's painful. But if we have that wound, we'll have to be avoiding it forever until it heals. So, but healing is going to involve a little bit of pain. But the good news is it's not going to hurt you. It's not going to damage you. It's not going to harm you. It might hurt, but the human condition has many ingredients, and hurt is one of them. It's not a sign of failure. It's not a sign of inferiority, and it's most certainly not a deal breaker to connect with others. In fact, it's the best reason to connect with others because it gives someone else a role, an important role, an empowering role, and lets them know that they're needed in the universe. And it also lets you know that you're needed in the universe no matter what kind of shape you're in. And if you can't access your strongest parts, your most confident parts, they're still there. And other people might even not realize that you can't access them. So when we say fake it till you make it, it's actually not really faking it. You're faking that you have the script right in front of you, but you're not faking that you have that part of you. You always have that part of you that loves others and that is confident and that is valuable and that loves and appreciates yourself. Pro tip, if you are not confident in your presence with someone, listen to music with them. Choose something you can both get excited about and just sit down and don't talk and focus on the music. If it's live music, even better. Deep listening to music increases your emotional intelligence and your empathy and your self-compassion. And one really good piece of music to listen to is Khaki King, You Don't Have to Be Afraid of the Pain That's Inside You, is the lyric. So, happy hunting and discovering and exploring and self-research. Whatever you find in there is a gift. This is somA saying, happy self-hunting. Whatever you find in there is a gift.